From the National Service of the Liberia Broadcasting System, good afternoon and welcome to Newsline. 30 minutes news presentation about Liberia and the rest of our one world. Today is Tuesday, November 7, 2023. My name is Titi Chibro with this afternoon's presentation. In the headlines, government calls on Liberian media to avoid spreading fake news and disinformation during the presidential runoff. China deploys 16th batch of medical professionals to Liberia. Bone County Citizens Union rallies support for President George Weah's second term bid. And away from Liberia now, Nigerian opposition leader Peter Obi to continue fighting for Nigeria despite failing to overturn Bola Tinubu's victory in court. Sports, the news in French, a report of Monrovia's weather and foreign development are all packaged. Zokwe Beslukan first sets the pace with a bulletin of news.
The Liberian government is calling on media institutions in the country to avoid the spread of fake news and disinformation in the lead up to the runoff elections. The government said any information mainly originates from social media often creates panic in the public and leads to violence and loss of lives. In a statement Monday, Information Minister Ledger Hood Rennie said the election is only a contest to choose the president and should not lead to chaos as some political actors have constantly preached on their campaign trails. Minister Rennie added that government is primarily focused on maintaining the country's hard-earned peace as it consolidates its democratic credentials. He added that the eyes of the world will be on Liberia and how the country is perceived and engaged after the runoff will depend largely on how the media reports. Chinese ambassador to Liberia Ying Chengwu has held what he called substantial contents of the medical cooperation between China and Liberia. Ambassador Yin assured China's continuous support to the development of Liberia's healthcare programs through various means, helping Liberia to build a community of health for all. He was speaking Tuesday at the JFK Medical Center during a welcoming program of the 16th batch of Chinese medical team to Liberia. Ambassador Ying recounted that during their stay in Liberia, the 15th batch honored the pledge of braving hardship, saving lives, and showing great love. The Chinese envoy expressed the hope that the new team, which comprises 6 members, including 3 veterans, will play a good role in passing on the tradition by completing their tasks successfully. Bone County Citizens Union (BCU) is rallying the people of the county to support the re-election bid of President George Weah. The Bone Citizens Union said it has resolved to unconditionally support the Weah-Taylor ticket in the presidential runoff in the interest of the county and Liberia at large. The Bone Union also noted amid political differences, the county cannot afford to lose the vice presidency in state governance. BCCU also called on other members outside of the county to support the union's agenda and vision, expressing optimism that President Weah will do more development in his second term. The Bone Citizens Union's statement of support was echoed by top executives of the union, Reverend Jerry Watt, Ambassador Mami Howard, Barclay, and Othello Flomo Dolo. A 15-year-old boy, Frankie Tofio, has reportedly shot dead a woman in Grand Jita County. Our correspondent said suspect Tofio was playing with a single barrel gun which reportedly discharged in the direction of Mamambao, killing her instantly. The father of the child, Kelvin Tofio, is said to have left the gun with his son, Frankie, though the intent of the father still remains unclear. Meanwhile, police in Zwedru have charged the father and boy with murder and forwarded to the 7th Judicial Circuit Court for criminal prosecution. A group under the ban of Grand Crew professionals has described as laudable support given to President Weah during the October 10 elections. The group said such support enabled the president to acquire the highest votes amongst all presidential candidates in the first round. The association believes the backing given President Weah is a portrayal of Liberians' preference for development and peace over what it terms unrealistic promises by rival candidates. A release from the Grand Crew professionals stated that while it recognizes some challenges during the president's first term, it is confident that those challenges have informed a new mindset for President Weah to continue on the path in national development. Meanwhile, the group is calling on all citizens to vote for President Weah overwhelmingly to consolidate the gains of enormous national growth, development, and unity. Several presidential candidates in the just ended October 10 elections have launched voter education campaign ahead of the November 14 runoff election. The campaign, named and styled Protect Liberians Votes, was launched by African Liberation League standard bearer Sarah Besloyanti and independent candidate Robert Morris, including some civil society actors. Speaking Tuesday on the Super Morning Show, Madam Besloyanti described the initiative as crucial to the electoral process with the aim of strengthening Liberia's democracy during and after elections.
This is about how we make sure that all Liberians participate in our democracy, not only just by voting, but by helping to make sure the voting process is improved and by strengthening our democracy.
Also speaking, Mr. Robert Morris vowed to institutionalize the campaign to ensure citizens are fully informed about the voting process that promotes good governance and democracy, among others. Meanwhile, Mr. Morris has praised Liberians for peacefully participating in the October 10 polls and cautioned them against voters trucking. Margibi County Senator Emmanuel Nunkwe has donated a brand new ambulance to the C.H. Rennie Hospital in Kakata. According to our correspondent, Senator Nunkwe's gesture is in fulfillment of a promise to citizens of Margibi during recent stakeholders' engagement. Our correspondent quotes Senator Nunkwe as saying his intervention is intended to improve health care delivery. Meanwhile, Margibi County Health Team has lauded Senator Nunkwe for the ambulance. And political parties and their representatives are participating in non-violence election campaign in Grand Cape Mount County. According to our correspondent, the day-long event is being organized by the National Elections Commission ahead of the presidential runoff. Next senior magistrate in Grand Cape Mount County, Joseph Kiazulu, said the forum is intended to ensure that political parties and their representatives uphold electoral guidelines and the Farmington River Declaration. In remarks, the Peace Building Office Senior Program Manager, Christopher Faya, called on citizens to turn out massively in the runoff election.
Zokwe Beslo Kane returns a little later with our foreign development and weather report. One of our top stories this afternoon, Bone County Citizens Union rallies support for President George Weah's second term bid. To this story now, the Liberian government last evening released a strong statement urging the media against anti-peace messages. The government's statement comes against the backdrop of some media institutions being used by politicians to beat war drums and spread messages bent on undermining the peace of the country. Zokwe Beslo Kone has been taking a close look at the government's